What's up, ladies and gents, and welcome to the Day Fino Flash podcast featuring your homies. Obviously, it's me, Daddy Fino, Baby. And of course, my co-host, the one and only JT Flash. JT, say what's up.
What's up?
What's up with you, JT? How you been, bro?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. It's getting closer to that time. NFL kickoff, opening of the season.
We're about 4 weeks away now. No, actually maybe 5 weeks. I think it's 5 weeks away. I can't wait, man. I think it's gonna be a great season. I don't know why. It feels to me it's sort of like the NBA season where it's like wide open. I think this year in the NFL is actually a little bit more wide open than it is in years past, and I just kind of excited for it. I really have no idea who my Super Bowl picks are gonna be. I have no idea.
There's a lot of. We still got the whole preseason to play out, so we don't really know how players look in terms of, like their first NFL action. It's not the regular season, so of course we're not going to see, them go all out, but we could see glimpses of what they're capable of or what they do to, second or third tier guys in the league. So, like I said, it's hard to tell, so we have to wait till we see some preseason games before I think anybody can make a definitive pick on who their winner is.
True that. That's true. That is true. Now, I was going to start this episode by asking you some questions, but because of what this episode is about today, I'm going to hold these questions off for later on. And you'll get what I mean later. But today, this is the NFC East preview. Now, we've been sort of promoting this, and we joked about it on the last episode when we were talking Madden. We told people what it was. Then I think this is going to be a really interesting episode. With you being a Cowboys fan, and we told everyone last week about our guest that he's a huge Giants fan, and we'll introduce him in a second. But I don't know. I have a feeling sparks are going to fly.
Yeah, probably.
So, you know what? Since we already started, how about we go ahead and introduce him? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you a friend of the show. His name is Christian, a.k.a. Abyss Live. Yo, Christian, say what's up to the people.
Yeah. What's going on, guys? Glad to be here.
Hey, we're happy to have you, man. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I got my things ready. I'm ready to lock and load, man.
You lock and load? All right. Well, JT, you hear that? He coming for you.
I hear that.
Like
it's
I
not
said,
looking good. It's not looking good already, but we'll see. We'll see.
It's like I said on the last episode. Like, I think I'm gonna chill. I might be able to chill this episode. I will let you guys go at it. It's usually me and JT, but you know what? I might have to sit back and relax. But before we begin, let's just review what we've talked about before in our other previews. We did talk about the AFC East and the NFC West in our first preview. And then the last one, we did the NFC South and the AFC South. Christian, do you have any thoughts about our opinions of those real quick?
Oh, I thought you guys broke it down pretty well. I pretty much agree with most of your points, mostly JT. Rough maybe wilding, but I think you guys summed it up pretty well.
Okay. All right. So how about we just get into it? So we're talking about the NFC East, like I said already. So how about we talk about the team that no one's going to be talking about? The Redskins, the Washington Redskins. JT, how about you go ahead and start off? What you thinking about these Redskins this year?
I at first when the Giants passed up on Dwayne Haskins in the draft, I thought they made a mistake. I thought Dwayne Haskins was the better quarterback for the Giants, but after further review, I actually think Dwayne Haskins is a better fit on the Redskins. I think the Redskins, they're not going to be the best team in the NFC East at all. They'll probably finish last. They have a lot of issues, but and they don't even know if Haskins is going to start. I mean, they've got Case Keenum and Colt McCoy on their roster. Alex Smith was injured last year, so no one really knows when Haskins is going to see the field. But I don't think, I wouldn't expect any more than 6 wins from this team, and that's their ceiling. I don't see them getting any more than that. So,
yeah, you're being a little generous with that. I'm not gonna lie. I thought you would say like 0.
But that's kind of where I see. They're not stacked with talent. Anywhere around the ball. They have a lot of older players. I know that they have some guys on the offense. I don't think, but even at his age, I don't really think anybody can say Adrian Peterson's not a name. But he's not the Adrian Peterson of the past. But I just don't see, a lot of wins or firepower come from this team, especially when they basically have a quarterback carousel going on right now. So.
Okay, Christian, go ahead.
First of all, the Giants didn't pass up, quote unquote, on Dwayne Haskins. That was just a hype train to get people thinking away from Daniel Jones. Giants had full intentions of drafting Daniel Jones at the beginning, but that's when we get to the Giants.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about that. Go ahead.
So this division in general was very, very, very strange because on paper, Washington doesn't have a lot of standouts. But if you look at their defensive rating, they were 12th in the league last year. So they're better than half of the whole league in that sense. It's just that their offense was ranked 28th. So you can attribute that to injuries. That Washington was one of the most injured teams last year. They lost their quarterback. They lost their prominent running back in Geis. I forget his name. Forget his first name.
Well,
yeah.
Geis.
The running back, right?
Let's be fair. The Redskins looked like they were going to run away with this division at one point last year.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So their defense pretty much carried them last year, even without their offense. So this year, in my opinion, if Case Keenum can get grounded and bring that veteran leadership that he could bring to the franchise, they're like a toss-up because who knows if their tight end Reed is gonna stay healthy. He's a coin flip. Peterson is all right. He had an okay season last year. He totally surprised everybody with having a better average than an average season than he was supposed to. Like I said, Geis is coming back. But I still put them at 5 wins. Haskins is I don't want to go Stephen A on ya. The man can't play. He was on what was his name? But the guy is fat. He's fat. He can't move. His arm is overrated because
hang on.
His arm. Wait. Let me say my point. His arm is overrated. You know why his arm is overrated? Because in Ohio State, he had track stars on his team. 3 premier wide receivers. And you know what he did? He did the Tom Brady. He just dump passes, 20, 10 yards, 5 yards, and they just ran past everybody. So I think what we're going to see is Case Keenum clearly win the quarterback job. They're going to hype up Haskins, but that's just for PR. Because the man can't play. The man can't play. Are you implying, I guess is what I'm asking, that Dwayne Haskins is on the same level as Jamarcus Russell? Is that what my man is a spitting image of that dude. He is the only outlier is I'll give a caveat. If he loses weight and he somehow maintains his weight, he'll be a average quarterback. Average
All
quarterback.
Right. Well, let me give my points real quick, and then I'm gonna let you guys go at it with
Man,
Washington.
man said
So,
passed up on Dwayne Haskins. God
so
bless.
I'm not a fan of Dwayne Haskins. I've never been a fan of Dwayne Haskins. For the same reasons you said, he did have track stars on his team. In Ohio State, he had a bunch of great wide receivers that I think will do well in the NFL. They'll transition well, and because of that, that did help his numbers. Um, However, I think that if they did build a team around him, gave him some skill players that are possibly similar to the ones at Ohio State.
You say that about every quarterback.
That's true. That's true. You can't say that about every quarterback, but if they can actually do it, not every team can actually do it. If somehow they can do it, it won't be this year. I think in a couple of years there'll be something. I don't have this team winning more than 4 games, so I'm gonna go 4-12 for me. I don't. I think they'll steal maybe 1 or 2 division games because their defense is still. I wouldn't say it's not as good as it was last year, but it's probably on the same level, or if not a step lower. You do have. I assume Case Keenum is going to start like Christian said. Haskins will probably come in later as they're losing, just to give him some playing time, experience, and all that to get him
I
ready.
wouldn't do that. I'm gonna get exposed.
I think you have to. In today's NFL, it's best that you play them early. I wouldn't do it, but I just think that that's just the way it is now. So it also depends on if they can stay healthy. Jordan Reed, for example. I love Jordan Reed. I've always loved him ever since he won me fantasy 3 years ago. I picked him up, and the man just went off. Picked him up in free agency. So ever since then, I've loved Jordan Reed, and he's a big tight end, can catch. When healthy, he's a top 3 tight end in my opinion.
Yeah, top 3.
But at the end of the day, he doesn't stay healthy. We'll see what Geis does. Geis got hurt last year. He looks like he's going to be a good back. That's going to help. Having Adrian Peterson there is going to help Geis also. Adrian Peterson had 1,000 yards last year, which I didn't even know that. I thought he was under it, but he actually did have 1,000 yards. So, because of that, Adrian Peterson is a freak athlete. So maybe he'll still, even at his age of, was he 32 now, 33? Whatever.
Yeah, I think he's 33.
33, I think he could still perform. He'll probably still get, probably 600 to 700 yards because he's splitting carries. But
That's a lot.
We'll see what it is. 4-12 for me.
Okay. Well, we need to talk about Mr. Haskins here because what was the quote you guys said that he had track stars? Is that the quote? Now,
He literally had track stars on his team.
I'm not gonna say he didn't have a lot of help, which would boost his stats, but I'm just gonna put this into perspective. And again, I know that this is one of these is an established NFL quarterback with a great season, but you know who else has track stars? And we're not giving him credit, Mr. Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes last year actually averaged 1 yard per completion less than Dwayne Haskins did in college. Again, I know it's college, but Pat Mahomes averaged 8.1 yards per attempt, and last year Dwayne Haskins averaged 9.1.
Right.
He has Tyreek Hill.
There's a key difference between the two quarterbacks.
What is it?
Pat Mahomes can't get tackled. He runs up the pocket and increases plays. He gives himself more time to make some ridiculous throws. Dwayne Haskins can't move.
Okay, so to your point, Tom Brady can't move either. But we're not making these points. And Tom Brady is the king of dink and dunk play.
He is, but Belichick and Brady are known to have a extremely on point system to the point where it's if they want you 30 yards in 19 seconds, and you're not there.
Oh, you're gone.
19 seconds, you're gone.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm just saying, and we talk about his weight. He's 213. at least
Big
his
boy.
draft board. But Daniel
nah.
Jones weighs more than that.
Daniel Jones, the truck.
Ben Roethlisberger weighs more. I'm just saying, there's quarterbacks
Daniel
that
Jones,
weigh
6'6",
more.
solid.
Bro, I'm
Solid.
looking. All right, I'm looking at Daniel Jones' stats. He's 6'4", 215. Okay,
Solid.
Dwayne Haskins is 6'3", 213. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's
but
not like
I bet you he's 230 right now.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't know. I'm not standing in front of him, but I'm just saying let's not discredit a man's career before it starts. I mean, I don't think people were shitting on Jamarcus Russell, after his couple games in the NFL. Let's see what he can do on the field before we just say, oh, this man's Jamarcus Russell.
That's true.
I see.
Just a point.
I see you guys' point. You guys want me to defend NFC's quarterbacks on this show, and it's making me sick.
Well, wait, hold on, because I didn't shit on Haskins. I'm just saying he was right. Christian's point was right. I'm not a fan of Haskins, but that doesn't mean that I don't think he's going to be good. I think that he's going to need more time than everyone else. But at the same time, let's chill on saying, oh, well, look what he did in college. He's going to do that in the NFL. I don't see that happening.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying we can compare. I'm not. One's a completely different game, faster game. I'm just saying we talk about dink and dunk and having track stars. I just compared him to a quarterback in the NFL who also has track stars. Yeah.
That's true, but he doesn't have the talent, the arm talent that Mahomes has.
No. Well, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying if you compare numbers to a team or a quarterback that had similar numbers that we praised last year, who deserved praise because of the season he had, I'm just saying their numbers were similar in yards per attempt.
Let me ask you this then. What quarterback does Dwayne Haskins compare to? As far as like who's his counterpart, like in the NFL?
At his peak, like if he was to reach his potential?
Donovan McNabb quarterback, honestly.
Hell no. He's he's Big Ben. Raw.
That's who I was thinking. Big Ben. I feel like that's who he compares to. And even if he's half of Big Ben, that's still a good quarterback, I feel like. Because I mean, Big Ben is a Hall of Famer. So half of that, even
the
if
thing with Big Ben, you couldn't bring him down with one guy. I don't think Haskins has the same.
Well, Big Ben's he's a lot bigger. He's a lot bigger than.
Man, he's big. He actually fits the big part of Big Ben. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He weighs 30 pounds. He's got 30 pounds according to the stat sheets on Haskins.
Well, look, there's also another thing that we got to look at too. It's not only the receivers. We also got to look at the offensive line that he had at Ohio State. It was really damn good.
And that team was stacked, bro.
So we never really seen him under pressure. We don't know what he's going to do when he has people in his face. So.
And let's be real. Ohio State's got historically the past few seasons has had great running backs. So I mean, he had a lot of help. I'm not saying he didn't.
There's a lot of questions about Haskins, and we'll get on to the other quarterbacks later. I don't know if he has the most question, but
ain't no question out here, dog.
Well, anyway, so I got them going 4-12. JT, you said what at best 6?
Yeah, I said 6 and 10, but that's not what I would say. I would say
I'm split between you guys.
I would lean 5 and 11. 6 is their ceiling. The only reason I gave them 6 is because they play the Cowboys, and the Cowboys shoot themselves in the foot a few times in the season. So.
Okay, so 5. We'll say 5 and 11 for you, and then 5 and 11 from you, Christian.
Yeah, 5-11.
Okay, that's not bad.
I think Peterson always starts off hot, and then he's old ass just runs out of gas towards the end.
Yeah, it's unfortunate about AP, man. I love AP. I don't want to get into it. I just love AP. He's so fucking amazing.
Man, Minnesota, bro.
Let's move on to another team in the NFC East, and I'm gonna allow you two to pick the team we go, because I think the last three teams, I think this is where the fire is gonna.
Let's save it like for the like a fireworks show. There's like a finale, like big bangs. Let's leave the two teams, the two teams we're gonna argue about the most. Let's leave them out there. Let's just move on to Philadelphia. Does that sound?
That sounds good to me. That sounds good to me, Christian. And I'm gonna let you take the lead first with the Philadelphia Eagles. Christian, what are your thoughts on Philly this year?
I think they're due for a regression. I know they re-signed Deshaun Jackson, which is going to be interesting with Carson Wentz coming back. But I don't really like the signing of O.J. Howard. I think it takes away from them. They're one of their rookies or the young guys, Adams.
Jordan.
Their defense was ranked 23rd last year, and they just paid Wentz a lot of money. I think that their defense is going to continue to be bad. I don't know how Wentz is going to look with a full season on his docket. Jeffrey has been up and down. Last season, he regressed from his previous season, so who knows if he continues to regress. Nelson Aguilar is a nice piece. Daniel Sproles is old. Eventually time is going to catch up to him. Of course, they got a nice tight end core. I like both of their tight ends, Ertz and Dallas. But I see them winning. I see them going 8-8.
Okay. Wow. All right. JT, go ahead.
I don't have a lot to add to what Christian just said. I actually also wrote down 8-8, but I think the
oh my God.
I can't wait for this season because I think Carson Wentz is a decent quarterback, but I think he's overhyped. The man hasn't played in the playoffs. I understand he had the incredible MVP like season before he got hurt, but there's a lot of great players or players who could have been great that injuries were in their way, and I just don't see how anyone can bank on Carson Wentz, making it through a full 16 games and possibly a playoff season when he hasn't done it yet. Darren Sproles is old. Deshaun Jackson, I think he's getting up there. I mean, he's been in the league 12 years now. Ertz is a good player. They have a decent offensive line. They have a couple of names on defense, but, their defense was bad last year. I just think that this year for them to win, they're going to have to get in shootouts with teams. And I looked at their schedule. They play some pretty good teams on the schedule. So 8-8 is where I actually have them also.
All right. Well, I should have expected little numbers from you guys, being the fans that you are. So, okay, I have this team actually winning the division.
God bless.
And this is because I like Carson Wentz. Now, obviously, their team is going to depend on Carson Wentz, depending on how well and if he stays healthy. That's how far this team will go. I have 11-5 for this team.
Okay.
My man said 11-5.
11-5 for this team, and I'm gonna tell you why. Like I said, this is assuming he stays healthy. Wentz stays healthy. You mentioned his receiver, Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson. I love the Deshaun Jackson pickup. Him returning home, that's going to rejuvenate him after he had good seasons in Tampa Bay, but it wasn't, Deshaun Jackson like just because you have Mike Evans on the other side. Him being home, him having his career numbers in Philly, I think he's just going to want to kill it. Because of that, adding that speed to Wentz's attack is just going to help him tremendously. I love Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard is not only can he run the football, but he can catch out the backfield. That's just going to add even more.
Barely.
Well, I disagree with that. Look at his numbers from years past, where he was one of the most. He was definitely in fantasy. He was definitely one of the top running backs in fantasy football. So I wouldn't say barely.
That's just because he scored touchdowns, rushing.
Okay,
like Marshawn Lynch.
Anyway, this is his numbers speak for itself. So anyway, he can catch out the backfield. That gives him even more weapons and more uses for him. Let's not also forget about his pickups. Picking up Sanders in the draft, another running back that's going to help. Miles Sanders from Penn State, second-round pick.
They have 5 running backs.
I'm sorry?
They have 5 running backs.
There's 5.
They do.
They're not going to keep them all. That's all right.
They do, but it really just depends on the first 2, Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders. Those are the 2 most important ones. And they're going to be big time for this team. Let's not forget about Zach Ertz. Let's not forget about Dallas Goedert. They have 2 tight end killers on their team. That's just even more weapons for Carson Wentz. I love this offense. Let's talk about defense. Defense, you said last year they were bad. They were 7th against the run last year. Now they sucked against the pass.
23rd overall.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's their overall? Yeah.
23rd overall defense.
Okay, so that's why. Look, they were 7th in defense in the run, 30th against the pass. So they got to increase that. They were 23rd in total yards allowed. But like I said, they're getting more healthier. They still got Fletcher Cox. They got Malik Jackson, who obviously is a Pro Bowler, all-pro guy. Brandon Graham. They got weapons on the defense. As long as they, improve on what they did last year, I think this team can easily go 11 games. I first was thinking 10, but I'm going to give Carson Wentz returning to MVP form as the reason they go to 11 wins. That's just for me.
I think there's too many mouths to feed. This offense is going to collapse on itself. Wentz is very injury prone. They don't have their safety net anymore. I think things go bad for the Eagles this year.
I think you're banking too much on Carson Wentz. To be honest, he hasn't played a full season.
He's gonna sneeze. He's gonna sneeze and blow out his back.
I agree with that.
I just you're banking on him making a full season and making the playoffs and playing in the playoffs when he hasn't yet. I mean, there's a question mark on this team for sure. So
they still running on that Super Bowl high, which is fine. They deserve it, but I'm not. If I am a betting man, I'm not betting on the Eagles.
If the Eagles walk into my house, if I'm an opposing team, I'm not afraid of them. You know what I'm saying? They walk into my arena.
I think they'll split with Dallas this year. I think they sweep everyone else. So right there, that's 5 wins. And I don't think that their schedule is super hard. I think they can get 6 wins out of that, the remaining games. So it's 10 other games, 6 out of them. I think that's possible. I believe they play the AFC East this year, correct? Am I wrong?
I haven't checked the schedule.
They do play the AFC East.
They play the AFC East. So right there, you got the Jets. That hurts me, but I think I see them beating the Jets, see them beating the Bills and Miami. So that's 3 right there.
That's the thing. That's one of the things I disagree with. I think Miami and the Bills are going to be good this year, both of them.
Even if they're good, I don't think they're on the level of the Eagles. So that's 3 wins right there. So right there, that's 9. They just have to steal 2 out of the other remaining games, which I think is totally possible for them to reach the 10 to 11 wins. So, I like the Eagles team, and I get it. I understand the Wentz issue, where can you trust Wentz? Well, it's not trusting Wentz that I have a problem with. It's, if anything, it's just, I guess, trusting him staying healthy. But him healthy, he's a really good quarterback. He's proven that, and that's all. I just gotta hope he stays healthy. He stays healthy. This team.
But who won their Super Bowl?
Yeah, I'm saying I hate when people say he's a good quarterback, a great, whatever you want to call him, because he
won MVP that year. He was going to win MVP that year if he didn't get hurt.
Okay,
you can't deny that.
You can't say for sure he was going to.
What do you mean? He was the leading runner, leading person.
So, like, how about this? How valuable is he if the man behind him
Won a Super Bowl.
won the Super Bowl for him?
Okay, that's true. I get that, but didn't Foles have 2 miraculous games, like 2 of the greatest playoff games of all time to even win?
Isn't that saying a lot, though?
Isn't that adding to Foles' legend?
What that's telling me is that Foles literally had to be
BDE let Foles.
Foles had to be beyond his best to win those games.
That's
I
all
don't
that
think
matters.
Now you're disrespecting Nick Foles, saying that Nick
I don't
Foles.
care. I don't like Nick Foles, so I don't care if I'm disrespecting.
You don't like Nick Foles.
Nick Foles has played more games than Carson Wentz and has one more Super Bowl. That's all I'm saying.
That's it. No,
Yeah,
said,
because
period.
Period. He has a longer career. Of course, he's played more games. Like, what are you talking about? Makes sense. And Nick Foles is injured him damn self. So what do you mean? Anyway,
Let's just say this: both of them are injury prone, but one's got a Super Bowl.
Even if he didn't get hurt, they gave it to Brady because he got hurt and missed the last 3 games. I mean, let's be honest. And also, that defense was really good that year. So,
They were.
although Foles did have a great 2 games in the playoffs to win the Super Bowl, I give him that. And no one's discrediting Foles for that. I give him all the credit in the world. He deserved the MVP. He deserved everything he got. But at the same time, let's not disrespect Wentz just because that's what happened.
He didn't even have one. He didn't have one great full season, and you want to crown him.
He played 13 games of
I'm
that
sorry. Is the NFL season end at 13 games?
No,
I
okay.
hate when you do this. You give these
What
back
did I say?
compliments.
I'm saying all I said is when he is healthy, he has shown that he's a really good quarterback. That's fact.
What has Nick Foles shown? He won a Super Bowl. He took over a team as a backup and won a Super Bowl.
That doesn't mean he's a really good quarterback because he played 2 games. Like, he had 2 great games. Okay, give him credit. But he's not better than Carson Wentz just because he won the Super Bowl.
Well, we finna find out.
Yeah, he's going to be a starting quarterback of his own.
Find out.
So is Trent Dilfer better than Carson Wentz because he won a Super Bowl? No. That doesn't mean anything.
Right now he is.
All right.
One's got a ring on his finger, and one has one by default.
All right. So Trent Dilfer is better than Dan Marino. All these quarterbacks, every quarterback has ever won Super Bowl better than Dan
Carson
Marino.
Wentz. Don't ever put Carson Wentz in a comp with Danny Marino. Don't ever do that.
Yes,
No, I'm just going by your logic. You're
No,
saying
not by my logic. Dan Marino has a full career.
Yeah, but he didn't win a Super Bowl.
Numbers and stats.
But he didn't win a Super Bowl.
Who cares about Super Bowl? I'm talking about stats and.
I thought Super Bowls mattered.
Of course they do.
Okay, so then you said that Nick Foles is better than Carson Wentz because he won the Super Bowl. That's what you just said.
No. I said Nick Foles is better because he played and won a Super Bowl. Carson Wentz, I don't believe Carson Wentz can play a full season.
He didn't play a full season.
Nick Foles has played full seasons.
He also missed a lot of seasons too. So what's your point?
And he won a Super Bowl. I don't understand what you're missing.
Carson Wentz won it too. He was on the team, so it don't matter. Anyway, your logic doesn't make sense. All I said was when he is healthy, he's proved that he's a really good quarterback. When he's healthy.
Okay.
I mean, that's a fact.
We're using the term really good for 13 games and 3 years.
He hasn't played 13 games in 3 years. He's played more than 13 games in 3 years.
Okay, and in the other years that I'm talking about, has his numbers been good or have they been mediocre?
Last year, his numbers were actually good. It's just that he was coming back from injury.
Okay.
His numbers last year weren't terrible.
Okay.
Listen, I'm okay with Wentz. He's just I don't know if I would have paid him. That's just me. I wouldn't have. I would have kept Foles.
And I agree with you on that. I wouldn't have paid him yet. I do agree with that. I'm not arguing that. I would have waited till he had a full year. But he played 11 games last year. He didn't play the full season. I mean, I agree with that. Like I said, my whole thing is if he's healthy. But he was 21-7, 21 touchdowns, 7 picks. You can't tell me that's not good. 70% completion percentage. You can't tell me that's not good.
That's really good.
Okay,
Okay, that's fine.
so how can you tell me? I'm just saying, when he's healthy, he's proven that he's a really good quarterback. There's nothing wrong with saying that.
Okay. Okay, let's just move on.
All right, exactly. What team you guys want to talk next? Because that's not what we go to team.
Hold on.
Wait. What did you say? 11 and what?
I said 11-5 from
11-5. I got him what? What I say? 8-8. Yeah.
You said 8-8, and he says 8-8. Well, now we're gonna move on to the New York Giants. I know this is gonna be a hot topic, definitely because of Christian. He's a huge Giants fan here. He's the Giants lover of us. So
It's my team, baby. It's my team.
Before he goes off on his little tangent,
baby. You just gotta believe, baby.
I'll let you guys talk first, and I'm gonna go first on the Giants. So I think the Giants are gonna be I think it's gonna be interesting. I'm hoping, and I guess my record is going to be based on who starts. So if Eli starts starts in the beginning and for the remainder of the season, I think this team can win 6 or 7 games. I'm leaning more towards 6-10 for this team, and I think that Eli will probably play maybe 14 games. 13, 14 games. My question is their receivers. I do like Sterling Shepard, and he'll move into that number 1 role. But, there were news just came out, I believe today or earlier today for sure, that Golden Tate's going to miss the first 4 games. Now he is appealing it. So we'll see what happens with that. But because now they're losing Golden Tate, in my opinion, they really don't have any other receivers. Now, I'm not talking about their tight end. I like Ingram. I do like Evan Ingram. But as far as on the outside and slot, I don't see any weapons there besides Sterling Shepard. And I'm not sure Sterling Shepard has proven yet that he can be a number 1. He's definitely shown flashes of being a really good receiver. But can he be that dominant receiver? We're not sure yet. At least I'm not sure yet. And because of that, I don't see that offense really going. Now, I have Saquon Barkley as the number 1 running back in the football. I don't think there's a question about that.
Nope.
This team is going to rely on him to carry them to wins. And as great as he is, I still believe that you're going to have some type of passing offense. And due to the fact that there are questions about Sterling Shepard, no other receivers, definitely for the first 4 games. Once Golden Tate gets back, it will definitely help. Golden Tate is a good receiver. There's no question about that. So he will help it. But at the same time, there's just a lot of questions about this team. And Eli, let's not forget about Eli. There's still a lot of questions about Eli. Is he still that good quarterback? I think that's a really good question to ask. He hasn't played really well the last couple of seasons, and I'm sure Christian can admit that. I would at least hope that he would. It's not to the level of Eli that we know. And it seems that he is downgrading. But because he is loved in New York, Christian called him a god. I think that they'll give him 13, 14
do impossible feats.
He has. I give him that. I cried when he won it. Trust me. I remember that day like it was yesterday. But because he is downgrading, I don't see Daniel Jones being a good quarterback. That was the shock of the year, in my opinion, in all of sports, was the Giants drafting him at number, was it 6?
That's just media.
That was a bigger shock than Kawhi going to the Clippers.
That's just media stuff. Leading the sheep.
I don't think the shock – well, just real quick, I don't think the shock was Kawhi going to the Clippers. The shock was PG coming with him. I think that was the bigger shock, not that Kawhi was going to the Clippers. But anyway, what was he drafted at? 6, right?
Drafted 6, yeah.
6. Okay, so I think to me that was the biggest shock, and I don't know what he's going to be. I don't have confidence in Daniel Jones. But even still, I don't see him playing that much anyway this year unless Eli gets hurt early. I see him starting the last 2 or 3 games, and I don't think they're going to win those games anyway, so that's just going to add to that. But even if Eli shows some flashes, I think they can get to 6. It's 5 or 6 for me. This to me is really a 2-team race in this division between the Eagles and Cowboys. But that's just me. Christian, it sounds like you got a lot to say and just, making these sounds and, interrupting me a little bit, So I'm going to just let you go. You're the Giants fan. You tell me what actually, you know what, Christian? No. Let JT go first, and then you could tell us what we said that's wrong. How about that? JT,
go for it.
Go for it, JT. Go ahead.
So you said 6 wins.
I'm being generous to saying 6.
Okay, I think that's real disrespectful, but that's besides the point.
Okay.
I think Eli Manning has a couple good years.
Here we go. JT's gonna hedge his fucking bets. Go ahead.
He has a couple of good years of quarterback play left in him. I think, and I've said this, I think Saquon Barkley will lead the league in rushing. He also has a good backup in Rod Smith, who came from Dallas, who backed up Ezekiel Elliott. The wide receivers is a question mark. I'm surprised you didn't mention, the couple injuries reported with Shepard and Slayton. I think Slayton will be a go. It's just a hamstring. He's got more than a month to get that going. A thumb, that's pretty important for a receiver. I want to say he'll be ready in what did we say, 6 weeks, 5 weeks? We don't know. I think I gave this team 8 wins. I have them going 8-8. They did draft a lot of good defensive players and sign some good defensive players. I don't think we're going to see them really mold or mesh well together till mid-season. They do have some games on the schedule that's winnable. Daniel Jones, do I think Daniel Jones, you said he wasn't gonna be good. I'm not gonna say Daniel Jones is gonna be a superstar, but I think he will be a decent quarterback in this league. I think he'll end up starting.
Okay, so if he ends up starting,
well, but not this year. I don't think he'll end up starting this season.
Okay, so you don't see him playing at all this year.
No, I think Eli has some good football left in him. I think their biggest problem exited and moved to Cleveland. I think Odell Beckham Jr. was more of a problem than a solution, and now that he's gone, I think you're going to see Eli Manning play a lot better. I think the attitude of the Giants, especially offensively, is going to be completely different. I have them winning 8 games.
Well, hold on. Before Christian goes, because I do have some questions. All right. You have them winning 8 games. Okay. Now, you said they have questions at receivers. They have injuries at receivers. They have suspensions at the receivers.
Okay.
Who is Eli throwing to besides Ingram and Saquon? Who is he throwing to if he has all these injuries? How are they scoring points?
I mean, I said Slayton. He's a rookie, understandably. You can't expect a ton from him, but it's a hamstring. I expect a hamstring, if they're smart with him in the offseason, to, be healed by come week 1. And Golden State, if he gets Golden Tate, I'm sorry. If he appeals it and it gets done, there's another target. I think he will win the appeal. And if they're smart, they could use both running backs effectively. And Eli Manning, Evan Ingram is a beast.
I agree. I said that. I agree.
Well, I'm telling you, you act like they have no options offensively, even with the chip stacked against them, I'm telling you, it's not true. If they're smart,
If they're
they
first
can
off,
be a capable offense.
Slayton, you said, has a hamstring issue. Okay, hamstring issues is not something that you could take lightly.
But we don't know what kind of hamstring it is. A hamstring.
How severe it is.
I get that, but I'm just saying, even a small hamstring injury can still linger. Now, I'm not questioning Slayton. I like Slayton. You know, and like I said, I like Sterling Shepard. But we're assuming that they're going to be, you know, good automatically. Shepard is going to be slotted into a position he's never been in.
He's played on big stages in the NFL and has filled in, you know, he's played that position.
Was that okay. He's never been, you're saying big stages how? Yes, he's been the number one when Odell was out. I give you that. But it's not like he was dominating the games. He dominated most times. He dominated most times when Odell was on the field. Am I correct with that, Christian?
He's a very average receiver in general.
He's an average receiver. Okay, so that's your number one.
He's not number one. Saquon Barkley's the number one.
I'm talking about receivers.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley's a receiver.
Okay, but I'm just talking strictly receivers. He's going to be looked at as your number one receiver, especially.
I think you're looking at this too linear. It's going to be a very fluid offense.
If
Similar
the Giants,
to how we used to play.
The Giants' success is going to go through Saquon. That's if they want to be successful.
Did I not say that? I said that when I was talking. I said Saquon's going to carry this team.
But
I agree.
You're asking me all these hypotheticals. I understand what you're saying, but Sterling Shepard's good enough to win a one-on-one if the defense is concerned about Saquon Barkley.
I don't think he's on a consistent basis against the number one corner on the other team. No, I don't believe so.
Okay, well, when Golden Tate's on the field and Evan Ingram, someone's going to be open.
For them to
that's
go,
a fact.
Well, look, let's say Golden Tate is missing the first 4 games. As of right now, he's missing the first 4. Okay?
You're probably gonna see a guy named Fowler play a lot. He's decent. He'll catch the ball.
Okay. All right.
And
go ahead.
They were working out Calvin Benjamin. If his fat ass can get into shape, who knows?
If he hasn't gotten into shape in fucking
3 years or something.
3 years.
Yeah, something stupid.
Okay. You said I'm talking about hypotheticals.
Nah, I'm just continuing your train of thought.
Okay. But go ahead.
Your
go
issue
ahead.
with our receiving core.
Tell me what I said wrong. Go ahead. Do your preview.
It's not that you said something wrong. You both made valid points. A lot of question marks with this team. But me, coming from an angle as a Giants fan, I've literally seen with my own eyes impossible things. Okay? I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. I've witnessed these things. And I do agree that Eli Manning may be older. I do agree that he's lost a little mustard on his arm. But the biggest problem wasn't Eli Manning. It was his offensive line. The man could not take 2 steps back without having 3 hands and grown gorillas in his face. So, first thing we did was address the offensive line. We traded for Zeitler from Cleveland, rated top 10, top 12 offensive lineman in the league. We have another year of Nate Solder on the left. You combine that with Willie Hernandez, a standout from last year.
Quick question.
One of the better rookies in the league.
Nate Solder's the one from New England?
Nate Solder was the Patriots guy. Yeah.
Okay.
He was new last year. It's going to be our second year with Nate Solder and Will Hernandez together.
Okay, continue.
On the right side, it's going to be Zettler from Cleveland, and we signed a guy named Mike Remmers from Minnesota, who has some experience with Pat Shermer. So hopefully that connection adds to the unit. So we're going to have a very, very stout and familiar offensive line. And one of the more important things about offensive line is unity. So years together and compatibility. So that's good. So Eli Manning is going to have more space to breathe. Hopefully hopefully Saquon Barkley begins to run through the tackles because now last year he was running around the tackles. Hopefully he can actually run through the tackles. Gives us a more dynamic offense. That's one. That's two.
Okay.
Three. Evan Ingram. Fun fact about Evan Ingram. On distance from defenders, he's rated number 1 over Travis Kelce, Zach Ertz, all the top tight ends. He gets the most separation. But he's been hurt, and Odell Beckham just demands the ball. So now that Odell's gone, and he's healthy, Evan Ingram is going to be a beast. He's going to be open all the time.
If he's healthy, right?
If statistics stand to true.
When he's healthy, he's a top tight end. He's a really good.
He is the top tight end. It's not even like it's not an over exaggeration to say that he's open so much that if you throw him the ball consistently and he gets the receptions that Travis Kelce gets, he'll be a top receiver.
Okay.
3, Saquon Barkley. I don't have to say much about Saquon Barkley. Man's a god. He's a great locker room presence. He's officially the leader of the team. The man's built like a Greek god. I don't know. I can't praise him enough.
A non-quarterback is a leader of a team. I want to throw that out there.
Yeah, but
he really is, though.
But Eli's still the leader of the team. He's the
Eli
guy.
Manning. The thing about Eli Manning is, you have to understand about Eli Manning is, over the years, he's had up and down seasons. The one thing that's consistent about Eli Manning, he doesn't let anything bother him. He can throw 27 interceptions and still have the fortitude to throw a game winner. Nothing phases him. I call him Doofy. He's a Doofy king. I love my Doofy king because in the face of the greatest quarterback to ever live, he was numb to it because he's just Doofy and he just doesn't care and he wants to win. So it doesn't matter all the noise going around about Eli Manning, how he's old, how he's trash, he can't throw. It doesn't matter. He doesn't hear it because he's a Manning. And he holds himself to different standards as a Manning. You understand? So next year, what you're gonna see is an old school kind of game. You're gonna see I agree. I'm surprised that JT said this. I believe they're gonna play a double 2 running backs, Rod Smith and Saquon Barkley, so they can have a more dynamic backfield to supplement them, so we can have long shots down the field with Slayton and Fowler. They're both really fast outside receivers. Now, all that being said, we still had the number 17th offense last year without Odell, with all the garbage, without a good offensive line to begin with. It got better towards the end of the year. And Saquon Barkley just dominating. We still have the 12th offense, which is second in the NFC East. So with a better offensive line, another year of Saquon, Evan Ingram being healthy, Shepard, hope God willing he's healthy, and Tate hopefully doesn't get suspended. I don't see any reason why we won't be again better half top offense in the league with a full season of everybody continuing to play at the pace they're playing. Our problem was we overpaid defensive players, and they were trash, complete trash. Langdon Collins overpaid. You know what happened? He got fed, and he forgot what it feels like to be hungry. So he got fed, he got paid, and he forgot how to do his job. Olivier Vernon got fed, and he forgot what it felt like to be hungry. So he's out of here. I forget about the corner's name. I forget his name, but he's trash. He's on the Saints now.
Eli
he got
Apple.
fed. Yeah, Eli Apple. He got fed and forgot what it felt like to be hungry. So he's out of here.
Hold on. Question. You said they got fed as in they got paid, correct?
I think they got paid, yeah.
Landon Collins didn't get paid till after the season.
Nah, he got paid before the season.
He got paid before?
He got paid the beginning of the season, yeah, and then he got traded or waived.
So he got paid. Okay, my bad. I thought he got paid after he got traded. Okay.
Nah, he signed the deal and he forgot how to play.
Okay, continue. All right, my bad. I was just making sure.
So we still have Janoris Jenkins. One of the better corners in the league. We drafted 2 corners in the draft. Julius Love and Baker. Both of them, one of them, Baker, he actually
Baker's-
won the Jim Thorpe Award
His
for the
ceiling's
best
high.
corner in the league in all college football. I mean,
His
and
ceiling's
Julian Love, his ceiling is very high. He hasn't allowed a touchdown in 2 years, 2 whole seasons. He hasn't allowed a touchdown. Julian Love, he was also a finalist for that same award, top 3. So we have 2, a winner and a finalist for the Jim Thorpe Award for the corners. So I think we're okay on that side of the field. We got 2. We have a premier corner and a potential, another 2 potential corners. We signed. Well, we traded for Peppers. He's gonna be our free safety. We're kind of, I can't really say he has potential because he played a lot for the Browns, but he's young. He's 23. He's gonna have, fresh start. Hopefully that works out. We signed Golden from the Cardinals. 2016, he had a league leading. He had 12 sacks plus another 10 assisted. So that's 22.5 sacks combined. He tore his ACL. He's got 2 years off that ACL, so it's gonna be a 3rd year back. If he returns to form, he's a god. We got Carter last year, who started 2 games, got 4 sacks. So hopefully he takes another step forward, starting all the games. We drafted Daniel Lawrence, this big mother effer from Clemson, who's gonna stop Zeke. We purposely drafted him to stop Zeke Elliott. I swear to God, we saw him there and was like, yo, we have to get this big guy just to stop Zeke Elliott from fucking running all over us. Because he's the only reason Dallas is good. That's it. Is it. So you stop Zeke, it's over, dog. It's over. We got another year of BJ Hill, another big effort on the other side of the defensive line. So we got 2 hog mollies, like my guy likes to say, the Gettleman. I don't know, man. You could smoke. I know this defense is going to be very different. I'm not going to say it's going to be good to start because they're young, but they're hungry. They're not fed. And when you don't feed a dog, they become dangerous. That's what you need. You need to be dangerous, like the old school Giants were. You got to be dangerous. You got to be mean.
Lawrence, yeah. LT.
So I believe that we're going to go back to our roots. We're going to go back to a defensive game, and that Eli Manning is going to be the doofy king again. And he's just going to make dumb, doofy plays to win us games. And this team is going to win 10 games.
10 games. Okay.
Games.
All right,
team is going to win.
So 10-6 is – so is Eli starting the whole year?
He's going to start. That's another thing. Eli's going to start. Daniel Jones. I know my man JT over here trying to be like, I ain't going to say he's a trash. But, I heard some chirps. It's all right, though. Ruffin, listen, dog. My man Daniel Jones had the worst receiving corps in college football. He had the most drop passes of any quarterback in all college football. And his offensive line, he faced the most – I can't say he faced the most pressure. I don't know that for a fact. But his offensive line was terrible.
Correct.
So he's already seen the pressure. He's already dealt with the drop passes. And he still put up decent numbers. He has a very strong arm. He's a truck. He's solid. And he's an Eli Manning product, a Manning tree product. So you already know he's polished enough to gain the trust of the Mannings. And if Peyton Manning comes to you, say, David Gettleman, I'm putting my stamp of approval on this young man. I don't care what everybody says. Me, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Manning family tree. I seen it. You gonna believe me, or you gonna believe the media looking at numbers and making up stories? I take the Manning family over the media, the stories, and the hoopla. And as for the reaction, that just happened, dog. Memes happen to everybody. Can't escape it. It's gonna happen. Porzingis went through it. Daniel Jones went through it. It just happens in New York City, baby. That's where it's at.
So 10-6.
10-6,
JT,
dog.
you got anything against the 10-6? That puts him.
That means they would double their wins from last season. Like
Double
I
it.
said,
9 wins okay too. 9 or 10.
this division is weird.
That's what I said.
To add on your point, it never plays out the way anyone thinks it's going to. And at the end of the season, like the last 4 weeks, if it's tight, it's a tight race for the division crown. It's insane. I don't have any team in this division winning 10 games. So I'd have to disagree there. But I don't think I think, what did you give them, Ruff?
I said 6.
6.
I think they win more than 6 games.
But I'm going to.
I don't.
I'm going to change mine to 7.
Yeah.
He earned another game for me based off his soliloquy as
He's gotta believe, baby. He's gotta believe.
Like I said, I still have questions. I mean, and you said you agree with me. I mean, you agree that there are plenty of questions about this team. You know, they did improve their O-line. I agree with you on that. I can't dispute that. Like I said, I agree Evan Ingram is a monster. I love Evan Ingram. In fact, I'm definitely trying to get him in fantasy. So, because of that, I agree with you on that. I know Saquon is the best running back in the league. I said that. So I understand that. But the receivers, I'm sorry. The reason why
I've seen Eli Manning win with janitors as his receiving corps.
You have seen him win with janitors, okay, but I've seen him lose more in his career, even besides the Super Bowl victories. Let's just put that away. We can't take that away from him. Most of his seasons, he does not make the playoffs, and his team underachieves for the most part. And I think you have to agree with that. Now,
the thing that I'll gonna say that point.
I'm not saying it's Eli's fault or anything like that. I agree with the whole Doofy, what you call him, Doofy King? Is what you call him?
He is the Doofy King.
I agree with all that. I really like Eli Manning. I really do. Like, I don't want anyone to think that I hate Eli or anything. I don't. And if I wasn't a Jets fan, obviously I would be a Giants fan. I don't even hate the Giants. They're the only team in New York besides the Jets. They're one of the teams I actually like. Like, I usually hate the Yankees, or I hate the other New York teams. I actually like the Giants. So I think I'm being fair with why I'm giving them their record. I'm not saying nothing crazy. I think these are questions that are, good questions to have. And like I said, Golden Tate missing 4 games, that's going to hurt you guys. I truly believe that. And I truly believe you can start the season 0-4 because he's out. I really see that. Not saying this can happen, but I can see it.
We getting a dub against the Cowboy first game. Yeah, I already know that. That shit's very stone, baby.
That's another question I do have to ask you. Because you have them winning 10-6. What's your record against division teams?
I think we spoke about this once. I have them sweeping the Skins. I have them losing 1 game to the Philly, and I also have them sweeping Dallas 2 games.
You have them sweeping Dallas, losing to Philly, so 5-6. 5-1 against the division.
5-1 against the division, yeah.
Okay. I mean, so let me look at their schedule right here. So
I think we played the Patriots a couple times.
So you play the Patriots. I'm gonna look at the tough teams. So you play the Patriots, you play the Vikings, you play the Bears, you play Green Bay, and then of course you play the Jets. So I mean, those are 5 tough teams right there. You know what I mean? So
my man said the Jets.
You know I had to say it. I'm just looking at it. Let me
Yo,
just
Daniel
go.
Jones. Daniel Jones is the better quarterback than whoever
No, shut
y'all
up,
got
please.
in the Jets.
Shut up. Okay, now you're being stupid. All right, look.
What's his name?
I'm,
I forget his name. He's so bad.
you know what? I'm not even
His
gonna.
name would be Sanchez. You think his
I'm
name?
not.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna go through your schedule real quick. So you're facing Dallas.
All right, let's go through it together.
Let's go through it together. All right. JT joined along too. So we got Dallas week 1.
Oh well.
That's a
You know,
loss, but I'll get on to that.
And that's in Dallas. I have that a loss. Okay.
You have the Giants losing? Okay.
I have the Giants losing that game. Only because it's in Dallas. If it was in New York, I would give that to the Giants. The Bills, I think that's a win for the. Well, yeah. I give that a win for the Bills. I don't think the Bills are that good. Even though
they're gonna get better towards the end of the year.
They'll get better. I agree with that. JT, what you got them?
That's a win for the Giants.
Okay, so then they're playing the Bucks. That's a win for them. We all say that.
Right now, I have the Giants 3-0. You have them 2-1.
Yeah, I'll say 2-1. So Redskins.
That's
okay.
They
got an easy 4 games. They may not even need go to take for those. I'll agree with that. Okay, let me check that out. So let's just say 3-1 for their first 4 games, and then the next 2 I think are losses. They play the Vikings and they play the Patriots.
It's early. That's what I'm hoping. What I'm hoping for with the Patriots is that it's early and Tom Brady hasn't woken up. His pod person is still playing, and Tom Brady hasn't actually arrived at the stadium yet. So I feel like we're gonna play like a pod person of Tom Brady, and it's not gonna matter. We're gonna win the game.
I don't know. That's in Foxborough. I don't see you winning.
Tom Brady doesn't show up until I don't know later in the season. Then he'll start like doing stuff.
Let's see. So I have you losing to the Patriots and the Vikings. That would put you right there at 3-3.
We split. I have them splitting that. So that's their first loss for me.
I'll have you beat the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have you honestly, and no lie, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I see you losing the next 6. Not even gonna lie to you. And
Here's the thing.
Oh God.
I think we all forget that the Giants are notorious for starting slow. Well, I mean, maybe not Christian.
No, they really do. They really do
start slow, and then they finish like strong. Like,
so it's strange. They have an early schedule, easy early schedule for once.
But the last 6 games, I don't see them losing the last 6. They're not going to lose.
Look at the next 6.
Oh, okay. What after the Patriots, or where do we?
Yeah, after the Patriots. After the Cardinals.
Okay.
Teams?
I think
lay them out for the teams for the listeners.
Just say the teams. It's the Lions, Dallas, Jets, Bears, Green Bay, Philly.
They're going to split games with the Cowboys. I'll give them the win against Dallas. I'll give them the win against the Lions.
Jets.
The win against the Jets. It's the last 3 that it would be very hard for me to say confidently that they win.
What's the team again?
Bears, Giants, Eagles.
No, Green Bay, Eagles.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Bears, Green Bay, Eagles.
Yeah.
See, the thing about the Eagles is I think they're gonna regress. So I think we got that game in the bag. And I agree. These 2 games they're gonna split between 9 and 10 wins for me. That's where I have them either 9 or 10 wins.
Yeah,
these 2 games.
I just going through the whole schedule just real quick. Yeah, I have them basically 6. Yeah, so my 6 wins based off of this, I have them at 6. I only gave them 7 because if they would take one from Dallas, so that would only way I would give them 7 is if they.
You also have them losing to the Jets, so.
I do, and I'm.
Not gonna happen.
I think that's going to be better than what you guys think, and that's obvious.
Is there any way I could take all the money I've possibly made in my lifetime and on just that game put it on the Giants?
Hey, look, we could make a bet right now if you want.
What do you want?
You should save the bets for before
Yeah,
the
let's
season,
do that.
right before the season,
That's fine, but I will bet on that game.
or right before games. Right before games, y'all can put up bets like water
The
bets.
Jets will beat the Giants that game. I would bet on that.
Okay.
You also have the Lions beating the Giants, which is I don't know, man. You gotta
Look,
you need
I think
to
I think
go
the
to Jesus though.
Lions are too. I don't think the Lions are going to make playoffs or anything, but the Lions,
No, they're not.
I like the Lions.
Yeah,
I
shouldn't.
like
Shouldn't like the
Stafford.
Lions.
Why?
What do
Why do
you
you
mean?
like the Giants?
The Lions might be they're going to be one of the worst teams
The
in the league.
Lions have Stafford, and Stafford can go off. Yes, he can shit up the bed. Don't get me wrong, but they got Galladay, and him and Stafford have a connection that I really like. They got some running backs now. The Lions can.
Theo Riddick's hurt, He's out for
We'll get
the
to
season.
soon. You said what?
Theo Riddick's out for the season.
That's fine. I don't care about Theo Riddick. He's trash.
Talking about my
I'm-
boy?
I don't like.
Carry on Johnson? Carry
I like
on
Carry.
my wayward son.
Hey, yo,
I
copyright.
like.
Oh, my bad. I sounded terrible anyway, so don't worry about it.
He was singing it. It's not like we played it. It's fine. But I like Carry on Johnson. So I mean, and you'll get more of that when we talk about the Lions and when we get to their division. But I like the Lions, so I think they'll win that game. Like I said, to finish the season after those 6 games, and you got Miami, Redskins, and Philly. I have Philly
God
beaten
bless.
both times, and then I have you winning against Miami and Redskins. So that would drop you to 6, like I have 6 and 10, and then if you steal one from Dallas, that's 7.
It sounds like you have us at 9 with the Jets and Lions because I think you're bugging. It sounds like you have us at 9.
No, I'm completely serious. I have you losing to the Lions and Jets. I ain't even playing. But
All
it's
right.
okay. We're gonna move on.
JT, what about you?
You have 10 wins, 10 and 6. JT has them at 8 and 8, correct?
Yeah, I also have them at 8 and 8.
Okay, and then I'm gonna stay with 6, but they have potential for 7 if they steal one from down. So I'm gonna say 6 officially. Well, guys, it's about that time. Let's go ahead and start going to the Cowboys. This is gonna be, I think, a lot of people. I know a lot of our followers are Cowboys fans.
Oh boy.
They're gonna be interested in
Well,
this. Shout out to my boy Ronnie Roman. He's a Cowboys fan. He's a new listener. He listened to our last podcast. So he's gonna be interested in this one.
What's his name? What's his name?
Ronnie Roman.
Ronnie. I got you. All right. I got you. All right.
So Christian, you're the guest, and you are the rival. So I'm gonna let you go first on this.
You gotta win first. All right, listen. I know Dallas is America's team. But looking at this team, I gotta say, a whole lot of garbage running around. So I'll start with the quarterback. Dak is a mediocre quarterback with outstanding legs. So to say that Dak can carry this team and deserves to be paid because he's hungry. I agree that he's hungry.
I hate to interrupt you, Christian, but can you elaborate the mediocre comment? Can you elaborate on
the mediocre comment? Sure, of course I can. He can't, in my opinion, make. He's not a gunslinger. He is very much a read quarterback in the sense that he plays a lot of play action, and he tries to make correct reads on short passes or outlet passes or running plays. And on occasion, their coach will call a deep route, which would fail because Dak can't do that. And he often makes plays with his legs, which to my chagrin is very effective in their particular offense. So he works in their system, but outside everybody else, he's a very mediocre quarterback. That's what I mean by mediocre. Zeke is probably their best player. But unfortunately, he comes with a lot of baggage. I mean, he barely sees the field because of either injuries or off the field issues. And for some reason, he feels the need to press the issue and demand contract negotiations when he's 2 years out. 2 years out. The man recently, he was just in the commissioner's office for an incident with a security guard. And right now he has the audacity, the unmitigated gall, if I could quote Stephen A. Smith, to ask for contract negotiations in front of Dak, in front of their cornerback, which I forget his name, in front of other defensive players.
Byron Jones.
Yeah, Byron Jones. That guy's really good. A good kid. They're bringing back Witten, which I think is hilarious.
Oh, me too. Wait till my turn.
The man was in the booth. He retired, but he didn't like it. And he's coming back thinking that he can just rehash some old memories of when he was good. I think the man's going to be really bad. You can't just not play for a whole year, not condition your body like a locomotive. You have to keep it greased. His body's not going to know how to react to the hits. Shannon Sharps often says, it's not playing the game, it's taking the hits is why I stay retired. He's going to learn that a hard way this season. Your best receivers, it's Cooper. What's his name? Cooper? What's his last name?
Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper, who was complete garbage for the Raiders for a couple seasons. Man, couldn't get open. He lacked enthusiasm. He played with a decent quarterback, Derek Carr, gunslinger, but didn't produce. And then he came to Dallas for a couple games, made a couple catches, and now everyone's crowning him the new next coming of whoever you want to say. They're number one. And I think that's just a whole lot of bologna sandwiches. And bologna sandwiches are mediocre, like him. Randall Cobb is coming over from the Green Bay Packers. I have a lot of questions about that. He's a decent player. He's been a very, very, very above. He's been an average receiver for many years. But he played with Aaron Rodgers, another gunslinger, who found him the ball, who made him open. Because that's what great quarterbacks do. They make you open. You're not necessarily that open. They throw the ball to where you will be open. And I don't think Dak Prescott can do that. Not at least at a high rate. So I think Cobb is going to be less efficient. He's going to be very much – they think that he's going to be the Cole Beasley replacement. And he might, but I have a lot of questions about that. The one positive thing I can say about this team, and the reason they win a majority of their games, because they had the 7th ranked defense last year. They just signed Lawrence. Forgot his first name.
DeMarcus.
They just signed DeMarcus Lawrence. I can't tell you off the top of my head all their defensive stars, but they're stacked. They have a whole young corp of defensive studs. And you can't look past that. I want to look past it because that's the Cowboys. But they're very good defensively. And without Zeke and no Rod Smith, I don't see them having the defensive run clock management game that they try to run the past couple of years that made them division champion. So I have them winning 7 games. And that's all I got to say about that.
Well, hold on. Now, is that record now I'm assuming you have probably 2 records for them. Because let's have one.
It's either 7 or 9.
Okay, so he plays the whole year, no holding out.
It's 9
for
games.
The season. It's 9 games, and then if he does, it's 7.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure. All right. So you said you're
9 or 8. Let's say 8. Let's say 8. Fuck them. Let's say
so
8.
8 with Zeke, 7 without Zeke.
Yeah, he makes them one game better.
Wow. Okay. So I don't know what JT is gonna say. I have a feeling.
I got a lot to say, but that's okay. Just do your thing.
I have a feeling based off a comment that JT said earlier that I'm going to be the Dallas Cowboy fan of the group. Because I like Dallas. I know it hurts to say that, but I kind of do. Um, and I'm gonna steal some points from Christian. Their defense, with DeMarcus Lawrence, they have great linebackers. Their defense, Byron Jones on the outside corner. The only thing that's really questionable in their defense is their safeties. With them trying to get Earl Thomas and all that. Their safeties are decent, but there's no like stud out there in the backfield. That's a question for them. However, they will have a good defense. Um, and I think that's going to be really. I think that's really the underrated part of their team is their defense. I can see them easily having a top 10 defense, just with all their playmakers and stuff like that. Now, let's jump to the offensive side of the ball. I'm gonna start with Zeke. Now, if Zeke plays the whole year, doesn't hold out, I can easily see this team winning 10 games. Zeke he's the workhorse of the team. He's the best player on the team. He is the reason that your team is as good as they have been. He's been the leading rusher 2 out of 3 years, and if the 1 year he wasn't the leading rusher, he probably most likely would have been. And I think he still got 1,000 yards that year. He didn't make it. That's the leading rusher. And
Yeah,
he
he missed
like
6 games.
he missed
1,000
six
yards.
games.
Yep.
So chances are he would have been the leading rusher if you add in what his yards per game was. Yes, he did. He is potentially holding out for the contract 2 years short of his end date. However, I think that's a good idea for him only because he's getting 300 carries a game. Yes, he's only 24 years old, but if you look at the Cowboys' past with what they did with their last running back, they ran him to death, and now he's gone from the NFL. And I can understand him wanting to get paid. I do agree with Christian with it's kind of questionable that you're doing it when you just left the office of the commissioner for being in trouble. I get that, and he loses leverage off of that. However, he's still the best. Well, not best. He's the best player on the team, but he's not the best running back in football. He's second best in football. So because of that, I understand his point. But moving on, Amari Cooper, he's played 4 years. 3 of the 4 years he had 1,000 yards rushing. I think he receiving. I'm sorry, 1,000 yards receiving. I think he needs some respect from you, Christian. I'm not saying
No.
I'm not saying he's an elite wide receiver. I'm not saying that. Like I said in the last episode, when we were talking about his overall rating in Madden, I think they had him at an 88. I said that I think they should have had him like 80. I think I said 85, 86, if I remember right. They should drop it down, but you can't deny his his immediate look like chemistry that he had with Dak Prescott last year. The last 8 games, they went 7-1 with Amari Cooper. I mean, that's something you can't deny. And I think that learning off of that, they're going to just improve. You mentioned Randall Cobb. I don't think he's an upgrade over Beasley. I think, if anything, they're probably equal, although he can do more. He can play on the outside like Beasley couldn't. But I think that will add another dynamic to that offense. Now, the big question is Dak Prescott. What is Dak Prescott? Dak Prescott, is he a top 10 quarterback? Is he in the middle of the pack? Is he mediocre, like Christian said? I don't think he's mediocre. I think I'm not saying he's a game manager. I think he's like the one step above game manager. And that means he would be in the good quarterback range. I think that his percentages, his numbers show that he's really good, definitely in clutch moments. Is he enough to carry this team? No. I don't think he's enough to carry. He's going to need that rushing offense from Zeke to make this team really go to the levels that people like Skip Bayless believe. I think Skip has them in the Super Bowl this year. What a shock. But, it's really just how you look at Dak Prescott. And like I said, I have him as a good quarterback. I don't think he's mediocre at all. I've seen enough from Dak that I think he can make the necessary throws when you need him to. The only question is, can he be the leader of this team if Zeke is not there? That's going to be a big question. Now, Zeke is not there for the season. He holds out for the season. I'm going to have this team probably at 7 wins. I'll give them 7 if Zeke is not there. Maybe 6. If Zeke is there, I'm going to say 10. And I'm going to pass it to JT for now. See what JT says, and then we'll attack him or agree with him or whatever, depending on what he says. So let's go, JT. You're the Cowboy fan. The stage is yours, my friend.
Okay. Where do I begin? I know where I'll begin. Let's forget the personnel on the roster. Let's start off with the real problem of the Dallas Cowboys and whether or not they'll be a successful team. It's their head coach, and it's been their head coach for several years. All of the, I guess you could say, success that Dak and Zeke have had, or the Cowboys in general, with the 2 playoff appearances the last 3 years, is in spite of their head coaching. And if you think I'm out there lying to you, after they lose a couple games this season, go back and listen to the post-game press conferences from the past 5 years, and you could literally just watch those instead of a live press conference. They have no creativity as far as their offense goes, which I'll get into Dak Prescott's development in a minute. But they've been literally running the same offense since Romo was under center. They literally no changes. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and call out that the first snap of the game on offense is they're going to do a stretch play to the right, because that's what they've done the past 3 years on opening day. That's number one. I mean, Jerry Jones is the real problem, but that's not a problem that's going to be solved by the time the first game comes around. But Jason Garrett is number one. I don't believe in Kellen Moore as their offensive coordinator. They fired Scott Linehan, and for those of you who don't know, Kellen Moore played under Scott Linehan in Detroit and in Dallas, and last year was the quarterback coach. So I'm not expecting a whole lot of change.
Shout out to Boise State. Shout out to Boise.
Now, we'll just go on the offense, and we'll start with Dak Prescott because, yes, I think everybody by now knows who Ezekiel Elliott is. And, yes, he is holding out. Should he be holding out? Talent-wise, yes, but he can't seem to stay out of trouble with the off-the-field stuff in the offseason. I think we said this earlier on a earlier episode of the podcast. It's, 3 years in the NFL, 3 off-season issues. He's about to be in his 4th. So I hope he, figures it out and can stay out of trouble. But we'll just go with Dak. Do I think Dak is a top 10 quarterback? No. I actually sat down yesterday and tried to figure out where I put Dak, and I was struggling to put Dak around 12 or 13 in the league.
Good. That's still good.
Yeah, no, it is. Here's my issue with Dak. Dak cannot throw a deep ball accurately consistently. He missed a couple of walk-in touchdowns last year to Gallup.
I forgot about Gallup.
I like Dak Prescott. I do. I like his personality. He's kind of Eli Manning-ish in a way. Like, he can make a bad play, but then, he comes in the next series and does something that will surprise you. He does make a lot of plays with his legs, which is what I think makes him sort of special. Not that other quarterbacks haven't done that. It's just, Dak can play. He plays the short game well. What I don't like about Dak is he tries to be Tony Romo sometimes in terms of, hey, I'm going to hold the ball till the last second till I have to get rid of it and hope I hit this home run play. And a lot of times he doesn't. He takes a sack, incompletion. It's nowhere near his receiver. But I will say this, and I'm not one for making excuses, but, Tyron Smith, the left tackle, was dealing with injuries all last year. They didn't have Travis Frederick. They still had a decent line, but they didn't have the line that they had in years past. So this season he won't have that excuse. Both of them are both reportedly healthy. Amari Cooper, he'll have him for a full 16 games. I honestly don't know what Amari Cooper will be yet. I'm not going to say he was trash, but I'm not going to say he was a good receiver. I'm going to say he was middle of the road receiver in Oakland. That team really wasn't great either. Derek Carr had a couple good years there. So I will say he was okay. Dallas made a few okay. And Michael Gallup, I like Michael Gallup as a rookie. I think he can progress and become even better this year with enough reps. Then he should get those. I think he should definitely be number 2 on the depth chart. But Dallas made three offensive mistakes this offseason. Number 1, they re-signed Jason Witten. And don't get me wrong, I love Jason Witten. I think he's a Hall of Famer.
Should be.
Should be. I agree.
But the man can't run fast. He can still catch the ball. He's tough. But, I just think at this point in his career, if he's in the game and he's not blocking, unless he's literally taking 2 steps and turning around and catching it for a touchdown or a first round, he's useless at this point in his career. The only thing he really brings to the locker room is some leadership. Their tight ends after him aren't stellar. Blake Jarwin, or as Skip Bayless calls him, Shannon Jarwin, on the show, and Dalton Schultz. Neither one of them are impressive, but at the right times at the end of last season, they both kind of had their moments where they came on strong. And not that they would take the next step and become great tight ends. I just think that they were better off with what they had. A big question mark is Rico Gathers. Everybody thought he was going to be like Antonio Gates, with his speed and his athleticism. He was a basketball player. He hasn't panned out. But
did he show flashes though?
He made two good plays. That their problem is he keeps getting concussions and reported concussions in practice.
That's a red flag.
So
yeah.
So he can't stay healthy. Their second mistake was not trying harder to get Cole Beasley to stay. A lot of people won't recognize that Cole Beasley did a lot of things that don't show up on the big numbers. He did a lot of dirty work in terms of moving the chains last year. That's kind of his niche in the league. He runs those short routes, on mismatches on linebackers or the extra DBs and gets those first downs. And I think the Cowboys are going to miss him a lot. And I think Randall Cobb is a good receiver. And yes, if I had to choose who is more talented, Randall Cobb is more talented because he has the speed that Cole Beasley doesn't. But my concern is, can Randall Cobb now, at being 9 years in the league and having injury history, can he do it consistently on their roster? And then the third mistake was offensively was not re-signing Keith Smith and letting him go to the Giants because, like I said earlier, Keith Smith
Rod
is
Smith.
yeah, I'm sorry, Rod Smith. Keith Smith is, I think, a fullback. Rod Smith, he's really good. I watched him, go in when Zeke was out. He runs super hard. He's a tough guy to tackle also. But that's where they are offensively. Defensively, I actually think they're going to be a little worse overall this year. They lost a couple of their safeties in free agency. DeMarcus Lawrence is good. I think they overpaid him a little bit, but I mean, what are you going to do? Guys are getting paid ridiculous amounts of money. Randy Gregory, I think he's facing another year-long suspension because he can't stay off the drugs.
Can't stay off the weed.
Yeah, I like one of my corners, but it's not the corner that Christian likes. I think Byron Jones is a little overrated. He got exposed last year when they did throw his way. He got burned. But the guy I like, who I love actually, is Chidobe Awuzie. I think he's really good. I think he's gonna be good this season. And then everybody who knows about Leighton Vander Esch and
that white boy, right?
yeah, and Jalen Smith. They played awesome last year. Sean Lee, as far as I'm concerned, can just not suit up anymore for the Cowboys. I'm pretty sure he doesn't even make a salary in the NFL. I'm pretty sure his checks go straight to the Dallas hospitals where frequently visits. But I want to like Sean Lee, but he just can't stay on the field long enough for me to say.
Maybe if they give him limited time,
Maybe I'm not trying to because the guy has made some plays, but a lot of people want to crown Sean Lee as, or at one point wanted to crown Sean Lee as
Bayless though. That's his boy.
One of the best linebackers in the NFL. He's been in the league 10 years, and I can't remember the last season he's played all 16 games.
That's true. To be fair to Sean Lee, though, when he's on the field, your team has gotten better defensively. I mean, let's be, I will say that.
Well, I could argue differently because last year Leighton Vander Esch took his spot and
I'm saying
Vander Esch.
Yeah.
No, I mean previously before Vander Esch.
Okay. Well, I will say he helped, but he didn't put him over the hump or anything. Other than last year,
no one has in 23 years.
Well, yeah, but other than last year, their defense has never really been that great. I mean, they've had good players, great players, but last year was the first time in a long time I actually saw dominance, if you want to call it that, on their defense. I wouldn't say dominance, but periods of dominance. But I had them at 7 and 9, even with Zeke. I just think that they have no originality. I don't trust their offense, offensive coordinator.
I really am a Cowboys fan, I guess. All right.
So me and him agree. 7 wins.
Okay. To be honest, I really don't.
Listen, I want to say they'll win more than that. And would I be surprised if they win more than that? No. But like I said, they do it in spite of coaching. So
I will say this, and I think, look, since Dak's been there, they've averaged 10 wins a season. Well, actually, I think it might be more. It might be like 11 games they average. They won 13 the first year, then they won 9, then they won 10 last year. Okay? So that's around 11, I think, if you average or something. Whatever it is. Anyway, I don't see, even, with them having the same offense every year, this team finds ways to win. And I think
Stephen A. Smith would say they find ways to lose.
That's true. Stephen A. would say that, but he can't argue the fact that for the last 3 years, this team has actually been winning. I don't know if Dak is I mean, we're all in agree. He's not an elite quarterback or anything like that, but the man does win. You know,
The thing about Dak is he's playing in the perfect system for him. Similar to, I like your game manager analogy, but in terms, I immediately thought of Alex Smith when he was on the Chiefs. That team won a lot of that team won a lot of games because the system was such that he can thrive in that sort of environment. So I think the way that they run their offense, like JT was saying, they're going to run a stretch route to the right, that they're going to continuously do that and run the ball down your throat.
And if that's what's successful, then that's been successful for them for the last 3 years.
But they are going to miss Cole Beasley though. He's on the Bills now, and I promise you that Josh Allen is going to find him a lot.
Look, Cole Beasley is a big loss, and I agree with that. And it's just like JT said, Randall Cobb is a better, he's probably a better receiver than Cole Beasley. I agree with that.
It's tough for me to say that because you have to put a caveat. You have to put a caveat next to Randall Cobb. He has to prove it without Aaron Rodgers. That's
true, and I agree with that. But Randall Cobb at least has shown that he can do more than Beasley. Like I said, when I was talking, is that you can put Cobb on the outside. You can never really put Beasley on the outside. I've seen him on the outside, but he's not successful on the outside. Cobb can play slot. He can play outside. He can do multiple routes, whether it be streaks, the post, in and outs. I've seen him do it. And yes, he did have Aaron Rodgers, like you mentioned, but at the same time, you still got to be able to run those routes. And he's a really good route runner. And I like the Randall Cobb pickup for them. I wish they could have got Cobb and keep Beasley. I think that would have been great for them. That would have been even better for them.
They want that rookie. They want that rookie to really come in.
No, I get it. They want Gallup to develop.
A young guy. Yeah, Gallup.
They want Gallup to become that number 2. And he did really good last year. I mean, you can't, take that away from him either. So I like that trio of receivers they have, and then if you have the monster that Zeke is, if you're looking at it based on his history, his pattern is potentially in the league in rushing again. That's pretty much, if he plays, chances are he'll probably lead the league in rushing.
Is he going to play?
Yeah, and that's the question. Is he going to play? And
realistically, why would he say he's going to hold out and not hold out?
Well, how many times have players
do that though?
How many players have hold out and then just came back the couple days before the first game of the season? There's rumors that's what he's going to do. He's just going to hold out preseason.
All right.
But he wasn't going to really get any plays in the preseason anyway, so it's not like it's a big holdout or anything like that. But if it does lead to the season, then yes, like I said, I think it will hurt the Cowboys for sure. I mean, I think we're all in agreement of that. But I don't see how that with Zeke on the field, 7 games is okay. I don't see how this team has not dropped off from last year. I think their team got better. You mentioned the O-line. They improved tremendously by adding 2 of the best linemen in the league. So that's going to be better. Zeke is still Zeke. Amari Cooper and that connection with Dak Prescott is just only going to improve. Even if it stays the same. Like I said, they were 7-1 with Amari Cooper. So, all that stuff, you combine that, put it in the pot. I mean, that's a successful season. 7-9 to me is
listen.
And I hate to say this, but that's disrespectful.
Listen, it is, but the real Cowboys fans out there know that the only reason that they've been winning the past however many years you want to say, 5 to 6 years, 7 years even, is in spite of their coaching. And I think their coaching is going to be their downfall. It might not be this year.
We say that
he might get fired.
Yeah. We say that every year, yet they still win.
It's bound to happen,
his coaching as bad as a coach that we all believe that he is, and I agree with you on that, that's never gotten in the way of them having a winning season and potentially making playoffs. I mean, you can't deny that. I'm not saying now. I think if anything, you could say the coaching is stopping them from winning the Super Bowl or making Super Bowl, but to actually win games, it's not.
I think last year was a combination of F the league for suspending Zeke, and the team just rallied together in a way
They had
that
I'm a Cowboys. Well, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I'm a Cowboys fan, and I'm going to tell you right now, this team, I'm not going to say was all luck that they won the division, but they definitely had a lot of luck. Because if you remember how they started and how the Redskins started, Dallas looked terrible at the beginning of the season last year.
I agree.
They looked like they weren't even going to win 5 games last year.
And then they got a receiver. They finally got a credible receiver, whether we like Amari Cooper or not.
Or they got Dak. They got Zeke back.
Zeke played all last year.
Zeke played all last year.
Yeah, so it didn't matter. Zeke, the biggest difference is they finally got a credible receiver, and that's when they went on their 7-1 run. That's what it is. Dak never really had that number one receiver. Now he does. And with him, he's 7-1.
Listen, I picked 7 and 9 because I think this year the coaching is what does them in. If you want me to look off talent on their roster, I would say that they're a 10-win team off talent. But I can't say that because again, I've watched press conferences recently. Jason Garrett's done. It's the same over and over. You can literally play a clip from 2016 and it would apply to what he says now. So,
and in 2016, did they not go 13-3?
But it had nothing to do with Jason Garrett, and he won Coach of the Year. It's disgusting.
And I get it. I'm agreeing with him as a coach, but it has never gotten in the way of them winning games. It has gotten in the way of getting to the Super Bowl, but as far as regular season, in regular season, they've won 13 games. They've won 9 games.
They're really good at home.
The past 3 years they've been good at home. They haven't actually been good on the road.
Right. So even still, even if we went by their schedule, they still play 8 games at home. Let's say they win 6-2 at home. You're telling me that means you have them losing? They're going to be 1-7 on the road? No, this team's not winning.
They might.
They're not. There's no way.
They might.
There's no.
Listen.
I think Amari. Listen, the thing about Amari Cooper is he's had some good seasons, but he's also had disappearing acts. So to say that he's gonna be this person that you're saying he is, that he hasn't been his whole career, is laughable. It's laughable to me because we have 4 years of him being good and disappearing consistently. That's his MO. He disappears for large stretches of time. So Amari Cooper is not going to be the Amari Cooper you saw last year. It's just not going to happen. Not going to happen. They have Randall Cobb, and you have a question mark with Ezekiel Elliott. He might hold out. Yeah. Players do it all the time. But he literally might not play.
Let's be real to a point because Christian brought it up. They might not have Ezekiel. Ezekiel Elliott is part of the reason Amari Cooper had success. They were game planning for Ezekiel Elliott, not Amari Cooper.
And I'm talking as if Zeke is playing. Now, let me be fair.
Okay.
I'm talking as if he is playing.
Well, then this is what I'm saying. If Zeke plays, they win the division, but they win it at 9-7. That's my final verdict.
I honestly say this. They have a really tough schedule. They really do. But I think
I was about to say that shit.
This team is still good enough that I think they can pull out these wins. I think that they can easily win 10 games. It wouldn't shock me if they won more. But
And it's
because
unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I think Dak should get paid, but he's gonna lose a bunch of games this year, and they're gonna try to pin it on him, and it's unfortunate because he's literally carried your franchise. From what I'm hearing from JT, he strongly believes that the coaching staff is failing this team. But yet, if we're going off what you said, they've consistently won games. There's got to be a median there. Why are they winning games? They've had a good defense last year, and JT's telling me that they haven't had a good defense majority of the years. So Dak Prescott has really been carrying this team on like fucking MacGyver status, like fucking give him some spare change and a paperclip, and he's fucking saving the world.
Well, not alone, but Dak has a large part of. I mean, the year Z got suspended, he still won games without Z. To be fair, I'm not saying Dak Prescott is carrying this team alone, but I think he should get paid. But I don't think he should get paid max money.
Well, listen, he's gonna lose a bunch of games this year. It's gonna happen. He's got a tough schedule. In comparison to the other teams in the division, the Cowboys have a tough schedule.
they do have a tough schedule, and they really do. And I just looking at it, they play Green Bay, the Saints, Eagles twice, Minnesota, Patriots, Bears, Rams. They got tough schedule, but I think they're good enough that they can steal a couple of those games.
Yeah, I'm sticking to my 7 games.
All right, so 7-9 from both of you, and I got them 10-6. That would be one game short of winning the division for me. So wait, that means if you have 7-9, you have
The Giants win the division.
I think it's a toss up between the Giants and Eagles on who wins the division. Listen, I think the Giants are going to surprise people. I'm going to say they don't win the division. I'm going to give it to the Eagles. But I don't think – I mean, with that being said, I don't think the Eagles go very far in the playoffs.
So if you had 8-8 for both of them, right?
Yeah.
So that means Eagles have the better division record because they go to division record, correct?
Yeah.
So what does the Eagles go in division?
5-3.
They go 5-3, so they beat who? Who are the 5 wins?
They're going to sweep the Redskins. They're going to split games with the Giants.
No, it can't be 5-3. I'm sorry. It would be 5-1.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, did my math wrong. Not 5-1. I was looking at a different piece of paper. 4-2. Sorry, 4-2.
So 2 for the Redskins and then 1 from each of the other teams.
And then they're gonna split. Yep.
Okay, and then Christian, you have the Giants at what record? You said 9-7, correct?
Yeah, 9-7.
And then so that they outright win the division because you had the 8-8. Okay.
Yeah.
And I have the Eagles winning division 11-5. I have Cowboys
fucking crazy.
6. And then I have the Giants at 6-10 and the Redskins at 3-13, which I'm leaning actually to 2. But I'm gonna say 3 to be respectful. Okay. All right. I mean, I would say this overall. I'm a little shocked by your picks, guys. Not gonna lie to you. Definitely shocked about the Giants being that high so early. I expected high, but I was expecting like maybe 7-9, 8-8. From you, Christian, not 9-7. But you did make some good points.
I said 10, but I'm staying at 9 to hedge.
Oh, you said yeah. You did say 10. That's right. You did say 10 originally. I think that's that's crazy. You honestly, to me, you're like being Skip Bayless, but for Giants. But anyway,
You guys speaking into existence, my brother.
I get that. But I just don't see it. I mean, I definitely believe they improved. I think every team besides the Redskins improved. And because of that, I don't see how you guys have them all. It's like you almost have all the teams declining, besides Christian. Christian has the Giants rising, but
It's a tricky division.
it is a tricky division. And I think that's why we rank them so high. We have them as the fourth best division because it is going to be a tough division. There's always a tough division, it seems like. It doesn't seem like there's any year that any team just completely rolls over everyone. Even the year Dallas went 13-3, it was still tough division wise, So it's gonna be a pretty good year for this division. I really believe that. I think JT definitely upset a lot of his family and brothers and sisters in Cowboy Nation. He may need to hide for a little bit. Good thing he's not in the Dallas area, although he's not too far. But he's, good thing he's not in there because we would lose a lot of fans.
Listen, I gotta say something onto that. I'm still gonna cheer him on and be hype about the season, but I don't see how anybody who watches the Cowboys week in, week out cannot be with me at that. Their coaching is eventually going to be their downfall. That's it. I mean,
it hasn't. There honestly hasn't really been much proof of that as far as regular season. There hasn't.
I don't see how you can say that because if you take Zeke and Dak out of the picture and Romo out of the picture, his record as a head coach is terrible. I don't understand.
I mean, that's like saying if you take out Peyton Manning out of the Colts, their coach's record would be terrible too. Obviously, if you take their best players, that's with anybody. That's just the way it is. You have to put them in there, and whether we agree about it or not, I think Christian said it perfectly, that Dak is in the perfect system, and that system is from the coach. I mean, that's just
not
the way
not their head coach.
Well, whoever
the guy they fired.
Okay, Linehan. Okay, cool. It was in Scott Linehan's picture. So if anything,
he ain't there no more.
And maybe it'll fall, but I think that you improved all around. I see you added the addition to your offensive line because they're not injured anymore. That's just going to make this team way better than it was. And it would shock me if this team wins less than – it would shock me if they win less than 8 games.
So it's going to shock you when they win less than 8 games with a quarterback coach who's basically a rookie offensive coordinator and hasn't had any experience at the offensive coordinator position at any level, that you're telling me that they're going to win more than 8 games.
I guarantee you that Jarrett, he takes over the offensive duties at some point this season.
And he probably will. But, I mean, like I said, I just don't see it happening. When you have – and like I said, this is all based on the Zeke plays. But if Zeke's playing, that team wins with Zeke, and they win with Dak. The records show it the last 3 years. It's proof. There's nothing – last 3 years, all they've done is win in the regular season. And I just don't see how it'll just drop immediately when the team is actually improved. So I just don't see it. No way possible. But anyway, let's announce our big news. We have some big news for everybody. Christian posted about it early, but we're going to tell all our fans about it now on the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, this year, the Daddy Fino Flash podcast is going to have the first ever Daddy Fino Flash podcast Fantasy Football League. We are currently looking for players to join it. It's going to be like a regular traditional PPR Fantasy Football League. There is going to be a buy-in. It's a $50 buy-in. We're going to have 10 people. I'm in it. of course. I should be in it because I am the leader of it.
Daddy,
Um,
baby.
Daddy Fino Baby, you know what it is. And I'm not going to tell you what my team name is yet. That's going to be a surprise. We got JT Flash is going to be in it. Probably not repping Cowboys. Probably lost his membership card as we
I speak facts. It's good. So
we're going to have
what do you call Jason Tatum?
straight facts.
Straight
Yeah,
facts.
I'm straight.
JT straight flash.
Yeah,
Flash.
yeah. There you go.
That sounds
JT straight facts flash. I like that. Okay.
Don't ever disrespect it. Don't you ever disrespect Jason
Straight
Tatum.
facts.
Okay. Anyway, we're gonna have Christian, aka Abyss Live.
The reigning,
He is
defending,
the reigning defending champion.
fantasy football. Yeah.
He has the belt to show it. So props to him. We're also gonna have friends of the show, Tommy and Hirsch. They're going to be joining. Hirsch is actually and also the reigning defending champion from my league last year.
We're joining titles.
So we're going to be combining the titles.
Unified.
For the very first, the winner will not only win. Is it 400 or 450, Christian?
That's pending. We're still working.
We're still
with the numbers.
deciding the money as far as what the winnings will be, but chances are they're going to either win $400 or $450, and they're going to win the first ever Daddy Fino Flash Podcast World Heavyweight Fantasy Football Championship belt. I will have that created, and I will give that and deliver that to the winner. Chances are just be sent to my house. But we'll see. And I will wear that proudly and represent our podcast as the champion. I have a big belt collection already, and I plan on adding that to it. So that's what the winner will get. Right now we have 5 people. We're looking for 5 more. So if any of you guys are interested, just hit us up. You can hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, the Facebook group, on Twitter. Definitely.
Facebook group would be best.
The Facebook group will definitely be best. Also, remember to like, comment, and share all of our stuff. Feel free to invite.
Subscribe button.
Oh, and subscribe button on YouTube. I keep forgetting about the subscribe button. I don't know why.
Just hit that. Just hit it real quick. Pap.
Just hit it. Steal your friend's phone. Go on YouTube real quick. Everyone has the YouTube app. Just
parents' phone when they're not looking. Anyone's phone.
It don't matter. But make sure you can invite. Feel free to invite all your friends to the Facebook group. We accept everybody. We don't care. The more the merrier. Our numbers have been steadily growing, and I definitely appreciate everyone that's helped. Shout out to Eric, aka Big Easy. He's gotten a lot of fans for. Oh wait, Eric is also joining. I forgot. Eric said he was joining the league, so that's 6 people. So we need 4 more. I'm sorry. Forgot about Eric. That's the normal thing.
Big Easy.
Big Easy. He's also joining, so that's 6 of us. So we need 4 more. But like I said, definitely if you're interested, let us know. Hit us up on the Facebook group, and we'll definitely add you to that. $50 buy-in. PPR rules. It will be a random draft. It will be a random order, so don't worry about order and all that good stuff. And throughout the year, we're gonna have the people that join this on an episode, so we can talk fantasy football, talk trash, and
Trash talk radio, boys.
Exactly. I'm definitely looking to have the winner join us at the end so they can have their moment of shine. So chances are it's just going to be JT interviewing me because I will win the league.
You know that Mark Sanchez is not available. Draft. You realize that.
Seriously? He's not?
I'm just letting you know.
I'm not playing then. I'm done.
Okay.
I thought he was available still.
Okay.
Oh, God. That just hurt my heart. but it's okay. But no, speaking of Mark Sanchez, let's just real quick. I just want to congratulate him.
There we go.
He will retire, and he's joined ESPN. So congratulations to Mark Sanchez on that. Anyway, I still love you, bro.
We know.
Other than that, how about JT? Tell them where they can find you at to hit you up if they want.
You can find me on Twitter or Instagram with the handle at KIDX_XJT.
And Christian, aka Abyss Live. Christian, go ahead and tell them.
Yeah. You can find me at IG under Christian_Abyss_ and on Twitter at also Christian_Abyss_. I'm gonna be live streaming on Twitch soon. Handle is Abyss_live. It's just Abyss, which I'm gonna be live sometime. It's the name Abyss Live. Come join me, be live with me.
And he's gonna be playing games like Apex, Smite. What other games you play?
2K, Madden.
You're getting in on the Madden train.
Getting in on Madden. I gotta teach you lessons, bro.
Speaking of Madden, last episode we did announce that we're going to be doing our Madden franchise for the Facebook group and for our fans for the podcast. So if you are getting Madden for Xbox One, hit us up so you can join the Madden franchise league that we're doing. Like we said, we're going to try to get as many people as we can, separate them into conferences, and we're going to try to get everyone in, as close to the same division as we possibly can, so it could be more competitive, and it'll feel like a real season. Kind of feels like the NFC East with everyone being competitive and playing. JT will be like the Redskins though of the divisions, based off past history, but it is what it is. JT, back to back champion. Just let me talk. I can talk, okay? I'm the back champion. So thank you. Anyway, so feel free to hit us up on that. And let me give you my info. I'm Daddy Fino Baby on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Like I said, join the Facebook group. Hit us up.
Daddy Fino
Baby. Leave all your comments, leave your likes, subscribe, hit the subscribe button, share with all your friends, share with family, share with whoever the hell you want. It don't matter. We love and appreciate it all. But this is the review of the NFC East. I would like to thank Christian, a.k.a. Abyss Live, for joining us. He did a great job.
Pleasure, boys.
Definitely appreciate you for that. And, we're going to talk to you guys next time. So I'm Daddy Fino Baby. He's JT Flash.
Straight facts, Flash.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, straight facts. Let me include that for the one time only. I will never say this again. Anyway, but we out of here. So love y'all.
Later. Peace.